so excited because I have a new friend who's here with me in the studio, and she's so precious. I can't hardly stand it. This is Didge. And you know, I said earlier, you know what they say about doing television with babies and dogs or animals, they take over, and we're just going to let you take over and let people ooh and ah over you. But we do want to say that Steve Welch is with us as well from SW K9 Rehab. Mm-hmm. And we met you at the Fullerton Cares Mardi Gras. You came up to our booth and the Mardi Gras for Autism, and you had dogs. And I am one of those people, if you get me around babies or dogs, I can be in mid-conversation with you and I will go over and talk to the dog because I would rather. And she wasn't there, but a dog very similar to her was there. Breed. And I fell in love. You and I had a little bit of a chat because I shared with you that my son who was there is on the spectrum, and we talked about getting an assistance dog. We foolishly decided not to do that he was doing so well that we would just go to the pound and get a dog. And we have a fabulous mixed breed rescue that turned out to be Cujo when she's around other people. And so at some point we're gonna have you up to the house to meet Daisy, who, what a misnomer. But we got into a conversation. We said, we just have to have you come into the studio. This is such a big area that more and more people are looking at getting assistance dogs or companion dogs. And we have seen the benefit. We should say that Didge's trainer is here with her in the studio, off camera. But you are being so good. You are just, I'm not supposed to pet her because she has her vest on, but she is being so well behaved. I can't even imagine if I brought my dog here, she would have already eaten you. I know, I know. But anyway, so Steve, welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about how long you've been working with and training dogs.
Well, I've been doing it since 1974. I'm a fourth generation professional animal trainer. I work with all species of animals. We do things like Call of Duty ghost videos, games. I've done a lot of movies like The Doberman Gang, Daring Dobermans, T.J. Hooker.
Now wait a second, when you're doing a video game, why do they need a dog trainer?
Well, they have a dog in there that does attack work in the game, and that dog is a dog we rescued out of San Diego named Susie.
So they base it on a real dog?
Base it on a real dog.
Do they dress, I know for actors, they dress them up in those green suits with the little ping pong balls all over. Do they do that with the dog too?
No, they don't do that with the dog.
They're just observing the dog and then they draw what the dog does? Okay.
Well, they insert the video because the dog is filmed separately, and that particular dog has to do what they call teabagging, which I didn't know what it was. But we trained the dog to do that, and then they did the protection work.
Okay.
And a little girl owns her that is about 19 years old, going to college, and she was being assaulted by her mother's ex-husband. So that's why they ended up rescuing the dog.
Goodness. So
we went to San Diego and rescued a German Shepherd for her, and then she also gets a college tuition of $10,000 a year for that to be their mascot from Call of Duty.
You're killing me, Did. You're just killing me. You're so sweet. Look at this face, everybody. And just sitting and listening, so good. You're such a good girl. Okay, so you do all kinds of training and for film, but you also train dogs to be assistance dogs.
Right. We do service dogs for wounded warriors. We do transfer dogs. The dogs are, we'll transfer them and pull them around in wheelchairs, help them transfer from the wheelchair to the bed. Like we have a gal right now, we just trained a golden retriever for her. She has ataxia, which is like MS. So she can't speak very well, so we had to retrain the dog because her speech is going away.
Okay.
To whistles. So the dog listens to her commands and picks up things and carries in the groceries, opens and closes the doors. You know, they pick up anything you dropped, like she'll pick up a dime off the floor.
Wow.
And then she'll take the change from a machine, she'll take a change from a machine.
I know.
No,
there's things happening in the studio that are making noises that you're not used to, and you're being so good.
They're trained to track human scent because a lot of these kids take off.
Yes.
So we teach the dog to trail them and find them.
Right.
And then we also use these dogs, the reason for the heavier vest is so we can tether things to her and show people how they work with, you know, hold it, because we have a 4-year-old we're working with right now that has autism, and he's fast.
Yes.
Really fast.
Well, and I think this is a growing area. More and more people, I was saying earlier, you know, people will come up to us at something like, you know, an event, and they'll go, well, you know, the dog thing, it all seems a little poo-poo, she to them, like people just want a dog dog to be able to take into a restaurant. They don't take it seriously. But when we try to re-educate them, because this is a very serious safety issue, and they are sometimes literally saving the lives of these children that have autism spectrum disorder. So now you said that there's a 4-year-old that you're working with right now to train, because a lot of agencies won't work with children until they're the age of 7. But I'm thrilled to hear that you're working with somebody who's 4, because sometimes it's at 4 that we need the dogs.
It takes a special dog to do that too.
Yes,
you know, that's why when we rescue the dogs, we're really careful about what we rescue, because we want them to be healthy.
Yes.
We want them to have longevity in service, and we want them to be safe with the kids. I also have a child that that particular child with the boxer mix. The owner of the dog was killed in a motorcycle accident on Interstate 5. So they were going to put the dog to the pound. One of my trainers called us, and I said, "Bring me the dog, let me see it." And it was she's just a great dog, fantastic.
Yeah.
And so we trained her for them. And then we have another child that's a little older. He tends to be a little bit violent.
Okay.
So they're not going to let him attend schools and stuff because he was fighting with the teachers and stuff. So we went out and rescued a dog out of Riverside, a pit bull lab mix, about 9 months old. And we trained her that when he gets violent, to jump on him, take him to the ground, and hold him there and lick him.
Yeah.
And that works.
Yeah.
At first it used to make him mad, but now he plays with the dog.
Right.
The reason we picked a pit bull lab mix is because they don't have nerve endings in their skin. They don't feel the pain. Pit bulls don't have any pain threshold. So that being what it is, and him being able to punch him and stuff, the dog just thought he was playing.
Okay.
So that's what we taught the dog to do, is play with him and keep him down on the ground when he gets
how long does it take to train something like that?
It just depends on the dog. Sometimes it's a month or 2. Sometimes it could be 6 months. That particular dog we spent 6 months on. The boxer Visa mix, I think we spent 6 months on.
Okay.
But it tracks, again, we had to teach it to track, which she was doing since she was 4 months old. We had to teach her to open and close doors. You know, all the things that we get them basically prepared for the clients so we can have them sitting waiting.
Yes.
So we're constantly rescuing dogs.
Right.
You know, that we know that will work. So when a person come in, whether it's, you know, epilepsy, diabetic, all we have to do is the finish work.
Yeah.
So that finish work, what we do is we normally, like with the diabetics and stuff, we take a piece of their clothing that they had when they were under the stress of low blood sugar, and that clothing picks up that scent. That's called scent cone.
Okay.
It's the same way we would train a bomb dog. Okay, so we want dogs that are interested in playing ball, so we can teach them how to hit on those scents. And we have these canisters set up that have balls in them. All of them have a ball in it, but they have to find the one that has the child's piece of clothing in it, or the person's piece of clothing in it for their particular problem.
Okay.
And so the dog alerts on it, smells it, sits back and sits and looks at it. And then we pop a ball out of the box.
I see.
And
So that's the reward.
That's the reward for finding the right scent.
We know all about teaching reinforcements here, Did I'm sorry, I'm talking to her and making it.
No.
And we should say too that, you know, her trainer is here in the studio with her, and she's seeing her trainer across the room. So she's a very happy dog, but that's why she's reacting.